Yes, hello. I'm Miss Debbie with Music Connections, and I am the kinder music teacher here in Lakeland. And I have been teaching here for 20 years now. I started at Explorations 5, that's regardless. The point is, lots of people have been asking me about potty training. And fact is, every child's different, but every single person on the earth deals with potty training in some sort of fashion, at least these days, maybe not in the caveman days, who knows. But right now, it's part of our story. Everybody's got their own story for kinder music, their own story for potty training. Potty training is a very tricky thing. For some children, it can go very much faster. For some children, it takes so much longer, and it rarely goes how parents expect it to go because we really don't have reasonable expectations for kinder music. For potty training, I'm sorry, I'm used to talking about kinder music. Please forgive me. I hope that you can come and join me and somebody will be able to see what it is, or maybe later you might be catching it at a time when works best for you. I hate for the kinder music sign to be backwards but I can't see your comments if I don't have the kinder music sign backwards. Not quite sure how to do that. Somebody want to teach me how to do this? I'm all for it. Come help me. Potty training. There's a few key topics that I want to make sure and highlight. The overall perspective of this is a story that you will be able to have a story of your own. You'll have a story for each of your children, and your children will have their own story. Hi, Tammy. I'm glad you're able to join us today. I know somebody else is joining in. Hi, Allie. So we're talking about potty training, and I'm going to hit on 5 topics. I'm not going to really look at my questions and the people that are joining in, but I'm glad that at least there's a couple of people here. So I'm going to get to questions in just a little while, but there's 6 real topics that I really want to get to here. One is that you cannot have stress included as part of the equation at all. That's an overall, no matter what part of the story, because there is no crisis in potty training. There's no critical thing that you need to worry about, because they're going to get it on their own. It's the child. The child has to do it. There's only so much that we can do, and I'm going to highlight some of that parts of that because we're part of the storytelling process for their potty training. There is going to be a window of sensitivity so that you're looking for the right time for your child to get into the potty training idea, because you can't just start it at, let's see, we're going to start training at 18 months and we're going to be done training by 2 years old. I don't know who that works for. Nobody that I know of that works for. So there's a matter of looking for that window of opportunity, for their sensitivity to that process. Because unless they're interested, it's not happening. As is with most of their learning. Their personal openness might be factored. There's going to be factors that you can do that will help them to be be interested and get to that window, like being able to tell your own story. And we're going to get to that in a little bit. But they're in their body and in their mind, they're continually waking up to new processes. Their brain is able to open up. Maria Montessori called these sensitivity areas of sensitivity. And so at some point in time, they're going to be sensitive to it. I think telling our story as we do it, there's a couple of ways to tell our story. One is if you have any clues to how it happened for you as a child, that's a really good way to start. Or if you know how it happens for another child, but just telling the story when you go to the bathroom. So you're like, and you stand up, gotta go, and then they see you walk off because they know where you're going to the potty. They might follow you. If they do follow you, you can tell more of the story. You can encourage them to come with you, and then you say, look, I need to take down my pants. I need to open up the toilet seat. I'm sitting down now. And you're just going to kind of talk about the whole process, and it's like, I can't go right away. I'm going to have to wait for a little bit. maybe we can talk for a little bit while I'm waiting. So you just tell the story. You're pretty much narrating going to the bathroom for your child because they're hearing it as a story. It's your story. It's the potty story. So that's a really good way to get them interested in it. Once you see that they're interested in it, then you can kind of move toward it and look for their clues to let you know when it is. Some children, it's like they're going to go hide in the corner and they're going to be quiet, and that's they're pooping. I get it. Okay, so that's when you can see that they're starting to see that they're not supposed to do it somewhere else. So they're cued into starting to get some of those norms that we have. My son, now since we're telling stories today, my son came in one time while I was using the bathroom and he says, "I want to see your china." The china that Grandma gave me is in a box under the bed. After I get off the toilet, then we can go and I can show you the china that came from Great Grandma Reba. I want to see your china. You know, it took me a week to figure out he wanted to see my vagina. I did not know that. I was like, you want to see my what? Okay, so I'm not really comfortable with all of that. We took out, so we went to the library, we got some books so we could see some pictures of the vagina and talked about his penis. I was very clear about what the actual body parts are. And so we talked about him having a penis and me having a vagina, and we showed pictures of that. But it took me a little bit to figure out what I want to see your china is. But it was very soon after that he was ready for potty training. We'll go into how we went about that later, but we're just talking about the windows to sensitivity at the moment. My son was 2.5. I tried doing potty training at less than 2 years old, or right around 2 years old with my son, and we got the little potty. He was so excited about it. He sat on it. Nothing. He'd sit there and read books. We sit there and read books anywhere, but there was no pottying going on. So we put the chair, and then he got to the point where he didn't even want to sit on it. So we put the chair away for a while. So again, we waited for that window of sensitivity. My girl, she was around 19 months, maybe around close to 20 months, and she started saying, "I'm pooping." I'm like, fine, if you can say it, you can do it. And so we got the potty seat out because she showed that she was interested. She knew what was happening, and so she could cue into that. Those are my 2 stories for my 2 children. I know of other children that it doesn't work for a while. I know of a child that it didn't work until they were 5 years old. He would sit on the potty. Mom would help him sit on the potty. I think this kind of goes back to that first one of the no stress. Mom would have him sit on the potty and he would sit there and he goes, "Mommy, it doesn't work. It doesn't work." And Mom was stressed about it. She took him to the doctor. She took him to specialists. She read tons of books on it. She had tons of systems for it. Oh my gosh. She's one of the best moms I know. And her child was not. Nothing was working. But she was very stressed about it. She decided finally at some point in time, he's not going to go to college still using diapers. So I just need to back off and let it go. He would go to preschool during the day. He would in big boy panties. And then he would come home, they would put a diaper on him, and he would go. They would try putting him on the potty. But he had to wait until he was in the diaper, and then he would go in the diaper. Through 3 and 4 years old. You'd think something's wrong with this child. There is nothing wrong with that child. Oh my gosh, right now, he's brilliant. He's working, he went to school, got his, what's the one after the bachelor's degree? Master's degree, and he is working in an amazing field. There is nothing wrong with a child that doesn't potty train right off at 2 years old. I will just say it's about the stress. She said, "Fine, I'm not going to stress about it." She continued to do things that did help him feel good about himself, and soccer was one of them. One day after soccer practice, at 5 years old, at 5 years old, he came home. He had had a great day. He had done all of the different plays. He had made several different goals. He was very confident and felt good about himself. And he came home and he sat on the potty, and all of a sudden from the other room, she heard him say, "Mommy, Mommy, it works, it works, it works, Mommy, I'm so excited." Boom, 100% toilet trained. None of the systems worked. It's not about the system. It's about your child and about them being ready for potty training. So, once you can see that they have the window of sensitivity, there's still more things that we can do. Of course, it's all up to them, but there's things that we can do on the peripherals to help tell the story. What we can do is set it up and have them make choices. Do they want to be able to use a little potty? My daughter had a little princess potty, little throne. I'm not kidding. It made music when you tinkled in the potty. I don't normally go for electronic things. Anybody who knows me already knows that. But that was what she wanted. She wanted that princess potty, and she loved it when it made music when she tinkled. It was awesome. That worked for a little while. Not for the whole time. But my son, on the other hand, wanted nothing to do with the little potty of any sort. We had him sit backwards on the toilet. And so he chose the big boy potty. And being able to sit backwards, you know the pee is going in the right place. And he sat backwards probably till he was 4 years old. And so there's just lots of ways to be able to do the potty training. My daughter finally got done with the princess potty, and they have those toilet seats that you have the big seat and then the little seat that comes down on top of it. Dang, that's awesome! I love that. She loved that. She got to sit on the big seat, but she got to sit on it in a way she didn't feel like her butt was going to fall in the water. So, which is why my son really liked sitting around backwards and being able to do that. Let's see if anybody's got any comments. That's what I always tell my students' moms. It's not always what they're ready, not when mom is ready. That's right, when they are ready, not when mom is ready. Totally right. Thanks, Fran. The choices of being able to use the big potty or the little potty, and making sure to have some accessories around. You don't necessarily know what's going to help them, but just setting up, having things that are available, and then also choosing the setup might be, if it's summertime or if it's Florida, it's mostly summertime, you just take it outside. You put the potty seat out there, no diaper or anything, just run around and do your thing. And if they stop and you can see that they kind of look like they need to go to the bathroom, it's like, oh, potty time, and then kind of be able to do that. So it's just a matter of setting it up. It could be in your living room if you're feeling comfortable enough. It's just so that the potty is there and available, so when the urge comes, they don't have to wait long to be able to get to where they're going, to be able to use the bathroom, be able to potty in the right place. So the next thing is the transition. Sometimes you've got the potty there and they've gone in the potty before, but the problem is that they don't want to stop what they're doing in order to try to go to the potty. They're like, yeah, fine, but that's boring. I don't want to do that, kind of in their mind. Or I'm sitting here, I'm totally involved in my Legos, or I'm totally involved in my blocks, or whatever it is that we're playing with. I don't want to stop what I'm doing in order to do that. My daughter was the worst. I'm talking about if I said it's time for the potty, flat out on the floor, kicking and screaming, I'm not doing that. It was crazy because she really just didn't leave what she was doing, but throwing a fit made her not do what she was doing. Anyways, don't think that children are logical. Just don't. So, for my son, he was having a hard time with it. The book that got him to be able to do this is called Uh-Oh, Gotta Go. Bob, or I'll put it in the comments when I finish up at the end, but it's called Uh-Oh, I Gotta Go. And that was what I got him to be able to say or do when he felt the urge. And that helped him to get up to go. Uh-oh, gotta go. And you can even make it in a song. Uh-oh, gotta go. That's a nice soul-me pattern. Uh-oh, gotta go. Which is totally, it kind of gets them up. It's actually the first two tones that children typically learn. Babies typically learn, uh-oh, oh, gotta go, so me. So we got I got him to be able to go to the bathroom by just going, oh, gotta go. Even did my hands like this, which is funny because it's like motor memory. Anyways, so that was definitely helpful to him. There was also a time where he wasn't ready to go, but he was really into superheroes. And so he said, to the potty, Batman! No, 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 Batman! Yeah, Batman's got a potty too, right? So what we did that, and that worked for my son. That did not work for my daughter. I had to come up with a new song for my daughter. We called it Potty Time. And it's kind of like, so we went on a cruise, and we were doing the little, with the lady with the fruit on her head, and we did the little Congo line. So this one kind of sounds like a Congo line, so I kind of back up and get it started here. Potty time, let's go to the potty time, cause a P-O-T-T-Y time, a P-O-T-T-Y time, potty time, let's go to the potty time, cause a P-O-T-T-Y time, a P-O-T-T-Y time. I gotta poop, I gotta pee, I gotta poop, I gotta pee, let's go, potty time, let's go to the potty time, cause you get the idea. All right, so that was the song that got my daughter to stop what she was doing and get to the potty. It had to be Congo line fun for this girl, just saying. So I don't know what's gonna work for your child, but that's a couple of different ideas that you might be able to work on. Let's see if anybody has any comments. Okay, so the potty time song was a really big hit, Marching to the Potty. If you have a child that's playing an instrument at the time, have them bring the instrument, or if they're playing with dolls at the time, have them bring the dolls. That way they don't have to leave something behind. They can take it with them, and it's less of a transition issue. And then it could be like if they're playing, even if they're playing with Legos. Legos to the potty, Legos to the potty. Okay, just make it up. They don't care. You can just make it up. It's all fun. So it's just a matter of that transition is one of the hardest things for them to be able to do. Now, of course, the next part of the whole game, the whole story, is being able to do the waiting game. What are you going to do while you're on the potty, while you're waiting for the pee or the poop to happen? I've talked to some people who they have like an entire box of things because they are not letting their child up until they pee or they poop. And so that's one strategy. It wasn't a strategy that I used, but it worked very well for them. Like I said, everybody's got their own story of how it works for them because every child is different and unique. So part of the waiting game, books was a huge thing for my son. Like I said, it was Uh-Oh, Gotta Go by Bob somebody or the other who used to be Bob on Sesame Street. The cool thing about that book is that every single page is a different story of a different child and how they are dealing with the potty training situation. And so there was a page where a girl bunched up the toilet paper into a snowball. And there was a page where there was a child that had instruments that shook. There was a page that had a child on a small toilet. There was a page that had a child on a big toilet. It wasn't like a big story. There wasn't a lot of reading that was going on. It just showed that everybody's different, and that it's okay to do it differently than somebody else. I tried other books with my child. None of those books were effective until I got Uh-Oh, Gotta Go. Bob McGrath, that's who it is. All right, so Bob McGrath has this awesome book. There's a lot of other songs, like Everyone Poops. That was another one that he really liked. If you have a favorite book that you like to use for the potty time, please put it in the comments, and that way we can share that with each other and really kind of get it going. Let's see, I would say on the toilet you would typically want to have a book or some manipulatives that don't have a lot of parts. I don't really recommend Legos unless they're playing with them and then they bring them. I would say something that doesn't have parts that come apart is really kind of give a good idea. Maybe like a squeeze ball. One of the cool things about a squeeze ball, let's see, I put that in the other room, but it's kind of like a rubbery thing. But as they're squeezing, it gives them the kind of the same sensation of the squeezing sensation that they feel in their gut as they're trying to go potty, and so that squeezing can do it. Of course, we don't want to promote a lot of pushing, because really it's not healthy for our whole body to spend our life pushing, because that does bad things to the insides. So we want to let it come out as naturally as possible, but that just squeezing with Play-Doh or with those foam balls, or even just filling like a balloon or a bag, like a sock. You could even fill a sock with rice or something, and it's something that they can squeeze and play with, whatever kind of works for you. That's a good sensation. Another cool thing, have you ever heard the story that you can turn on the water and that will help them to pee? Because if you hear that sound, you can do it. That's one option. I would say that worked for me a few times when I said, are you having a hard time? Let's turn on the water, see if that helps. So we're giving them an option. What would you like to do? Of course, as a music teacher, I think a rain stick is a really cool one. Let me get it. So if you have a rain stick, listen to that sound. So that is going to be able to help them hear the sound of the water flowing, which can sometimes help. There's other ones that you can get that are smaller and shorter, but it's something that helps them watch it. And then there's just this, if they can see the beads going down, then that helps them to just kind of feel that going down through their body. All right, so there's a couple of different options for you for the waiting time. Yeah, I already talked about that. So I'm going to look at my notes here. Let's see if anybody's kind of going on. Hi everybody, I'm so glad that everybody joining in. I can see Amanda's joining us and Gwen is joining us. Potty training is a really tricky thing. I've got through the no stress, the window for sensitivity, openness to being able to get started and learn it. You don't learn anything unless you're interested. The setup, how to set it up, I give them choices, the transitions going from what they're doing to going to the potty, the waiting game, waiting for them to use the bathroom. And the last part, of course, is celebration. What to do when they actually go potty. I'm not a big proponent of saying, when you go potty, you'll get this. I'm a big proponent of, oh, it happened. Now you have the choice of this or this. That way, it's not, because you can't, if you promise them something and they can't go to the bathroom, then that's more discouraging than just waiting until it actually happens, and then something happens to help them to celebrate that moment. And so one of the things that I had for my son was that we did a cheer. So pee, pee, yay, pee, yeah. Okay, so we got that cheer going on. We love the fact that it pee, pee, yay, pee, or poop, poop, a boom, boom, poop, 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 a boom, boom, poop. He really liked that when I got excited when that was happening, and that I never promised him anything that I couldn't give him because he couldn't do it. So another thing for my daughter is I came up with a little song. I did it, I did it, I peed in the potty. So that kind of thing, just like mom, I'm the bum, I peed in the potty. Oh my gosh, such memories this brings back. I did it, I did it, I peed in the potty. Just like Dad, I'm so glad I peed in the potty. So there's something that you can do that doesn't take any setup for you to be able to have to give them. I know sometimes there's stickers that people use that never worked for my children. My son could have cared less about stickers or tattoos or any of that stuff. The song and the rhyme did help. I'm not a proponent of giving food as rewards, but then again, every child is different. And I can't tell you not to do that. If that is what works for your child, then that's good. Just don't promise it ahead of time. Then let's see, the stickers or tattoos can work. They also had, I did use the little foil stars that you can get at the office supply store, and then there was a picture that I had low enough for him on the wall, and then anytime he peed or pooped, if he peed he got a yellow star, and if he pooped he got to choose what color star, and then he got to put it on the scenario. There was like a little night scene with a campfire down, and so it was like a poster, and then he got to put a new star on the starry sky of the poster. So that is some of the things that I do and have done, and the stories that I've heard. Being able to tell their story to other people, that is not, I peed in the potty, but oh, this, let's see, I would say, okay, so my daughter, if I was around someone else and I wanted to support her in that, it's like, oh my goodness, we started singing this song, it's potty time, let's go to the potty time. And then Cora got up and danced to the potty, and she sat down and she read a book, and then all of a sudden we heard it. We heard the pee, and it came out, and we were so excited that we sang a song. So telling the story to Dad, or FaceTime with Grandma, or whatever, but you're telling their story of success whenever they have it, and that's going to lead to more success in the future, because we want it all to be positive, so there's no stress that's involved. I am happy to answer any questions. That's kind of all that I had for us today. I will get closer so that I can see if anybody has any questions. I can see that there are several people watching. I hope that there's tell me something that is happening with you. What part are you maybe having problem with? Looking for the window of sensitivity, knowing the setup or what kind of ideas to put for the setup, transitions. Are you having a hard time getting them to go from one activity to another activity? Are you having more of a time helping them to sit on the potty while they're waiting to go? Or are you challenged with what is going to help them to celebrate what they're doing? So I don't know, let me see if there's any other questions that have come up here. I can see several different people are watching, and Fran was so nice to comment with this. All right, tell me what's going on. What's your question? I'm gonna stop talking. Okay, or tell me what's working so I can tell the other moms who are watching what's working, because anybody who's going through the potty training process needs support, and I'm totally about this. This, by the way, this video, live video, is only for my Music Connections people who have been in Kinder Music, because I wanted to kind of start small so I could see how it works, and I'd love to know your feedback on if any of this helped, if being able to go through the 6 topics was effective, or something that you may not have heard before. But the topics that I hit today was no stress and waiting for the window of sensitivity, being able to set it up effectively, the transition, going from doing something else that's exciting and actually going to the bathroom. Is there anybody who's having a hard time with going to the bathroom in public? When I started taking my son out, oh my gosh, the toilets at Walmart are incredibly loud. He totally freaked out every time we went into the bathroom at Walmart, because he knew how loud the toilets were. Now, mind you, before we started potty training, he didn't care. But once we started potty training, I think that they thought that he would get sucked up into the toilet and taken down the drain because of the amount of loudness that was going on in that bathroom. There were other places that he was fine with, but anytime that there was a loud, like at JCPenney's or any of your loud places, that was a different trick. So we just made sure to do other things until we went and then would go to loud places after that. I know of some people that have the toilet in the trunk of their car, the small toilet in the trunk of their car or in the back of their van. And so as soon as their child needs to go, boom, you stop the car, you get out, you go to the bathroom. If you're going to be leaving a place and going someplace new, you go out and you go to the toilet of you go, and they actually sit in the trunk of the car, and you've got your other little waiting toys there. And that has worked very well for many families. Has anybody tried that? Okay, well, I don't know if you guys have any questions or not. I would love to be able to chat with you guys, but it doesn't seem that there's any questions. So I think, let's see, I've been on for a half hour. Oh my gosh. So if there's no questions, I hope that you guys got something out of this. I hope maybe you can, if you came in late, you can go back to the beginning of it and catch on to what you can catch on, anything that helps. And I'd love to answer any questions anytime. And if you have questions, then the next time I do this for more people, then maybe I can hit things that other people might be more interested in. I hope you're having a great day. Take care. Good luck with the potty training. Potty time, let's go to the potty time. See you later.